Welcome, everyone, to Elevate with V. So excited to be here with you. This podcast was inspired by my own healing journey. I aspire to share amazing healers and coaches to help us each elevate on our journey so we can keep aligning with our soul's calling and gifts. I can't wait to introduce my guest today, Lorna. We connected through Allison and Kaylee, both of whom I've had the pleasure to have on my podcast. So, with Lorna, I so enjoy your energy, your readings, your joy de vivre, and your sparkle. And I always love to hear about your guides. Oh my God, they're so fun. We're going to talk about it. And so excited to learn more about you and your journey. So, welcome, Lorna.
Thank you.
You're so
Bit
cute.
nervous, but okay,
Don't
go
be
on.
nervous. It'll be fun. It'll be good. So
Okay.
Lorna's official bio is she is an intuitive healer and reader, Angel Reiki Master. She's a very unique oracle and healer who uses her soul language along with her skills as an adept Angel Reiki Master to deepen each session. She does many healing sessions with crystals, color, angelics, and soul therapy using plants, and so much more. She does a lot of work with EDINA, and we will dive into learning more about that in this session. So, welcome again, Lorna.
Thank you.
I love it. So, as you know, this show is all about healing journeys. So, it's all about each one of us that have navigated through many, many storms to get to our silver linings. And so, I would love to know from you what event or events kind of led you into your healing journey.
So, um, so how I started being who I am, I used to go on ghost hunts and I used to see spirits and visions, and it just went from there really. And then people showed me how to do pendulum work, and I always remember picking up a healing pendulum, and I thought, oh, how does that work? And then I tried it on somebody, and I'm thinking, how on earth with that could relieve somebody pain? And like the pain would go through me and go out, and I'm thinking, oh, this is a little bit spooky. And then I thought, right, I'm going to go and find myself a circle. So I did all that. It's just a very long story. It seems like ages ago, because this is just me. This is what I do. So then I decided to do an angelic healer practitioner course, and that was it. There was that switch that went on in my brain, and I went, right, okay. So I did a diploma in holistic therapy. I got a merit for that as well. And I always remember my teacher saying to me, don't ever do care anymore. This is what you need to do. So over the years, I met Kaylee, then Alison, and I'll always remember where Adina come into it. We did an initiation, and I think I was really hard hit with it. And I turned around and had this beautiful young blue avian. Oh, he's stunning. And I called him Archie. And then that was it. Then we would just go in, they would teach you. And yeah, that's how come. Yeah, it took me a while to actually make the move of like, I'd be going a year next month in my business. It's took me a long time. But one thing with my guides, they always say go with the flow. So that's what I do. And now I've ended up with a business I absolutely adore, love meeting new people, love the healings that they use me for. Some of the results are actually mind-blowing. So yeah. And I try and fit everything else in.
Wow, I love it, Lorna. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So did you feel like you had some gifts even as a child? Did you feel you were intuitive? Did you have any clear gifts that you were aware of? What was your childhood like?
Um, some of my childhood wasn't good, and it wasn't great, but it was good. It's just about, I don't know really when I look back on my childhood, but yeah, I've always loved spirit. and I've always known spirit to be around me. And when I was 18, when my nan passed away, and I remember the time she went straight through me, and I went, whoa. So then it took quite a while, and then going into ghost hunts and into the spirit world. And yeah, so yeah, I've always loved the paranormal, and I've always loved, because I always think there must be life outside, always have done. But once you go into it, then there's where the roller coaster comes in, because you think, oh, am I messing with something? Oh, I like that. And then we just keep going. And I'm like, okay, I can do this.
I love that.
But
So was it, whatever was coming up for you in childhood, you were connected to spirit. Was that something that was supported by your family? Was there anybody else in your
no,
family that was, or was it pretty much like, don't talk about this, like just keep it to yourself?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, you wouldn't talk about things like that in my family. No, because they didn't believe in it. We were too big, they were too busy working and trying to live and bring the money in. So things like that. And I remember when I was younger, I was always had an imaginary friend, always. And I liked to spend time on my own. And I remember having all my dolls, but then I'd imagine there was other people around. So yeah, I suppose really that I've always known that when you really think back to your childhood.
And so when you say imaginary friend, Lorna, was that more kind of like in your third eye, or were you seeing a physical manifestation?
No, I would actually see them,
Wow.
like I would see you, but that's what I am now. So I see spirit like I see you. I don't go into graveyards because I see too many people, far too many people. So I try and avoid them. But yeah, so no, it's like I could be driving the car and I could see all these people walking in the fields, and I go, hello, hello. And I just acknowledge, because that's how it should be. I don't, people have this big thing, about the films and how bad they can be, and don't mess with that sort of thing. But spirit are kind. They're just kind, and they just want help. And when you have people coming for healing and readings, that's all they want to do. They just, if I have, like, to say for you'd come in to see me for a session, I will guarantee you now somebody be behind you, because they come with you. So literally I just channel what they say. So
I
they
love
just
that.
speak. Yeah.
So Lorna, do they, you have to give permission or anything, or is it just like you just see them around you and you have your own boundary? Because, I'm sure that's also something that you've had to probably work on, right?
I don't ever switch off. But then they do allow me to sleep, and I'll go, please leave me alone. And then, because I don't sleep very well anyway, I'm like a high flyer. So if I can do 12 hours of healing, have something to eat, have an hour's sleep, and get up and do it again. I'm like a robot. It's really bizarre.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Wow. Well, I
Yeah.
guess as long as you know how much rest you need and you get that, then I think that's the most important thing, right?
Yes, 100%.
So kind of coming back to what you were sharing, like one of the first things you stepped into was you talked about, did you call it Angel Reiki, or what did you call it?
So it's called, the course was an angelic healer practitioner. So it's another form of Reiki. So where you would go down into meditation, your angel would come in. I have my own personal angel. They would give you a gift. And it's like going into a dark room and you putting the light on, and you just know you're home. And I get quite emotional sometimes, because I just, like, every day I thank my guides that they use me, and I thank my guides, they look after me. Yeah, I do. And I just, to learn about angels And be quite truthful, I never really believed in angels. And then once you meet your angel, and then I work a lot with Michael, Raffia, all of them, and they just come in, and whatever I need, they help me with, because we all work as one. We are oneness with the world. So, and that's something, yeah.
I love that so much. So, um, I know that you said you started your business only about a year ago. So what were
Yeah.
you doing? What was the field that you were in? I think you said care.
Yeah, so I still do a bit of care. Like in England, we have care homes, and so I still go out and do a bit of care. But I really just wanted in my soul, I know what my soul purpose is. And my soul purpose is to do healing and to give readings. And that's where my heart is. And because I've done 30 years in care, and there's always that thing that you're going to fail. And like what with the current climate at the moment, where people lose their jobs and things like that, I'm just thinking, oh, is this the right time for me to do this? And I had Selena on my case, and I'm my friends and Kaylee and Alison. It's like, no, Lorna, it's time. And I went, right, okay. And then all of a sudden it was July the 4th, Independence Day. So yeah, I'll be going a year. And it's just, I was sat there the other night thinking, wow, what a year. But there's so much more to come.
That's amazing, Lorna. I love it. So, like you said you still do a little bit of the care work from time
I
to time.
do, but
Okay.
my business is really taking off. So the more I do, the less I do of the other. So it's just a different form of care, isn't it?
Mhm.
You know, we look after people's loved ones, but also when you are in that situation where people come in, have lost their loved ones, it's a blessing for you to be a channel so you can give them that love and reassurance and confirmation. But some spirits, they're hilarious. They come out with the most hilarious things. And people come in quite sad and they always leave laughing because their loved ones are still amazing, like they would be if they were in their earthly body. So yeah.
I love that, Lorna. And it's so interesting. I think for a lot of us that identify as like empaths or healers, it's always part of the work that we do. It just kind of shifts in terms of how we do it, right? So it's like you're still doing that work where you're being a light worker, if we want to call it that. You've just kind of shifted the form in which it's happening now. So I wanted to talk about, because one of the things that I love, and I've caught you on so many of your lives, and you have these super fun guides that I'm always intrigued by. And this might be connected to the Adina work, but it's always like talking about your avian guides and your llama guides. And I was just like, oh my God, I just love hearing about your guides. So tell me how you got connected to them. Is this connected to Adina?
Okay, so one night I kept seeing this face and I wasn't sure if it was a lady or a gentleman, that they had no eyes, and it was like it was really scaring me. I thought, right, who are you? You need to come in. You've been doing now this me for like 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden, Selena just came straight in. She's an Egyptian princess, but also I talk to the moon a lot. And when you look at the moon, it's actually called Selena. So she's a goddess of the moon. She is the moon. Because I always said, don't come at me with all this long words that I'm not very good at saying. She went, my name is Selena. And through my time, my upgrades, I would be dressed in all these different crystals or gold or sandals, and then my third eye would get massive and massive. And yeah, so that's how Selena come in. Yeah, she's she's the most lovable, amazing guide ever. But she can be a bit strict as well. So she's actually behind me, so I better be careful. So I remember going on to this circle that I was in, and we were learning to sit in the power, which I'm teaching now to my students. So we would sit in the power, we would see a guide, they would come in, they would go out. But this, I always remember this night, it was animal guides. And I looked and I thought, why have I got a llama? Right? And everybody go through the group, they got a lion, a giraffe, a wolf. And then when it came to me, I went, got a llama. And they went, sorry. And Jack. And I'm like, oh my God, I've got a llama. Anyway, a bit further on down the line, we were doing that heart festival for Lord Emery in America so she could have operations. All of a sudden, I thought, right, I've got a two-hour slot with Alison. And I'm sat there and Jack comes in, and I thought, what on earth is behind him? It was Lily. And I went, Jack, who is that? And he went, Mum, don't worry about her. She's my girlfriend. So they've been with me 24/7. They are the most amazing animal guides you would ever imagine. When they low, they pick you up. When you're not well, they wrap themselves around you. And when you're tired, they carry you. And you all go through that area like a roller coaster. Yeah, Lily and Jack, they never leave me ever. They're here as well. And it's really funny because Jack's like this down at the thing going, who's that, Mum? I go, get your head out the way. So it's so funny. And so I always say to people, look, my llamas are here tonight, Jack and Lily. So if you get like a funny thing on your face, and about half an hour later said, Lorna, is that your animal? Because it's just licked me. I went, okay, Jack, stop it. Everyone's used to me. So that's Lily and Jack. I've told you a bit about Archie when we went for the EDINA initiation. So Archie is a blue avian. He's a beautiful, and he's still that age now, about 14. He's blue and he has beautiful feathers. He comes from a planet called Sirius. And they've took me over the months, and they've shown me what happens to their planets, and things like that. They come to people for healers and teachers, and what they want to do is for them to come and work with you because of the love, not because of money. And that is what my business is based upon. It's love. It's nothing to do with money. And yeah, so then a few months later, I'll never forget, I had a lady on my couch. I was doing a healing session. Alfred, which is the head, came walking through my door with like 10 little ones. And these little ones just surrounded me. And I went, okay, who are these? So I'm Alfred, and I will teach you. I will teach you everything you need to know. But these beautiful ones, these are my family. When they grow, then you need to find the people for you then for them to meet them so they can go off with them. And then then can work with another person, and they can do the healing, EDINA healing, what is needed. And that's what I do. And then for, oh gosh, about 3 months, I was saying to Kaylee, well, how can I teach this? And even though I've been working with them, how can I teach this? Because if you go into EDINA, the book, it stops dead. There's nothing you can go on to. And I went, right, Alfred, no, I can't be doing with this. You've done this, this, and this. A whole year of my life has been with you. Now, please show me how I need to do it. And he went, Lorna, I'm going to teach you, and we're going to do the codes. So I do my own codes. So I do EDINA codes. So when people do EDINA healing, they can actually do the codes on them. So a bit like Reiki, when you have different codes, but this is EDINA codes and they all mean something. So
I love
yeah,
that. So, Lorna, we're going to have to back up now because I know a lot of people have no idea. You've said the word Adina a few times and they're going to be like, what is that? So, can you share with us what that is exactly? What is Adina?
so EDINA is energy medicine with the stars. So I don't know the full history of it. I just know they're with me. So you can go onto Amazon and you get, and it's EDINA, and I've left it down my therapy room. It's a blue book and it's got a circle with a triangle with 3 circles. And go and read it and see what they do, because they came to this beautiful therapist and it's her view on working with Adina and how things happened for her. So and there's like an initiation part in it. So we literally did everything by the book, and that's how they come into my life. But there's one thing Alfred did say to me, that was then, Lorna, this is now. That was her experience, this is yours. And I want you to teach people. So yeah, it's Adina, it's energy medicine with the stars, because they come from this planet Sirius. And stunning, absolutely stunning. And I class them as my blue angels, because that's what they are. They are just blue angels, because they come into your life, they work with you. Yes, they can be a bit strict. So when you do everything, it will go, Lorna, hands, and I go, right, okay. And I'm just doing whatever I need to do. And they go, Lorna, it's not straight. I go, right, okay. And now he goes, uh-huh. So that's why I get this from, uh-huh. I do it all the time because it's come from Alfred. And you'll just go, very good, and walk off. So yeah,
I
I
love
just love
that.
them.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, because I don't think anyone has ever shared about that. And I love that you're saying that it is very specific, in terms of from Sirius. I personally feel very connected to Sirius. So I love that you shared that. And I do have the book. I have not read it. I'm not the best reader. I was like, I need an audiobook.
You can actually get it on audio.
All right. That's good to know. I'm happy to learn that.
Yeah,
Love that. So I know you're very deep into that, and now you're teaching it as well, which is really amazing. And I know that there's so many things that you do, and it's like you're sort of just pulling all these different pieces into your practice, which is really fun. So, a term that's not been used that often, like, it says in your bio that, you're like a unique oracle. So what's an oracle so that people can kind of get an idea of what that is?
that's took me a long time to get my head round. So basically, an oracle is a person going back years and years ago. They would, like, going back into war, like in Rome and that, they would go to the oracle to say, would this be good for us to go and do this, that, and the other? And if the oracle looks into what will happen, she would either say yes or no. So what I do when I do readings as an oracle, I literally go down into your journey, and I can see so much stuff, and I see things, and I always ask spirit, and I go, right, give me something very specific, so it gives that validation to the person I'm reading for. Yeah, so an oracle is someone who sees, who can see ahead.
Of that.
So,
So
yeah.
I know you said you can look ahead. So is this a little bit like how people sometimes talk about, like the Akashic records, for example, right? Like where you can see many timelines and many parts of someone's life. Is that a little bit?
Yeah, so if you imagine a ruler and you have them all in meters, whatever, or centimeters, it's like, okay, so if a gentleman come into me and he was like 36 years old, I would go 36 timelines, because every year or something, and I can go straight from there, and I can go and I can pull bits out of his life, but I also see past life as well, what people were. Yeah, I've had about 140 lives, past lives I have. So that's really weird, because, and so with the past life, we tend to bring certain things of aspects of what we were in our past life into this life. And then sometimes it's like, why do we create these patterns? So that's something else that I look into as well, and I can help. Because if you're always giving all the time, you get yourself drained. So then you would create something that would stop that pattern happening. So yeah, I just see so many random stuff, so much. And then sometimes I can be underwater, literally I can, so with me, I can transport my body in somewhere else. So my moonlight healing is my place of where I go to when I need some rest. So I can literally, and I can actually be in the water now if I need to be, with the moon and my crystals and the trees. I do a lot of out of body as well, but nobody's ever taught me that. It just comes naturally.
Wow.
And that's something hard to get your head around as well.
Yes, absolutely. I was going to say, wow. So, Lorna, do you believe that all of our timelines are happening at the same time? What is your thought about that?
I've never really thought about that, actually. No, I've never really thought about that.
You just see it
I
as,
just I just think we try and live our lives the best we can. And yes, I went in care, you see many people pass over. I see their bodies come out of their earthly bodies saying goodbye, and then they come back to me. I see that quite a lot. So death doesn't worry me and things like that. No. Never really thought about the timelines, actually. That might be something to really look into.
yeah. So,
I
I mean,
just
go ahead.
try and do what I need to do now.
Yes, you try to stay present, right? You're like, what's
Yeah.
happening right now? What can I deal with right now? So, in all this different type of healing work that you do, Lorna, um, we know that everything is connected. So if you heal something for someone right now, there's a ripple effect, right? Does that then impact their other like multi-dimensional timelines? What do you feel about that?
Um, when I do healing, it's something I do. I scan your body, and have you ever heard of psychic healing? I literally go into your body and pull anything out which I think shouldn't be there. My healings are so different from a lot of people, and that's something, it's quite hard to get your head round. So I remember the first person I had on my business, there was this beautiful lady, and both her legs were really bad. One was, she had a walking stick, one was bowed in, the other one was, she's waiting for an operation. She left my room and she stood up, and she hadn't stood up for 6 months. And that's, so sometimes I can't speak. I just go, haha, okay, I'm glad you're happy. They rebook again, because healing's not a one-off, and this is why I say it a lot to people. I always say 4 to 6 weeks, because when you get somebody well, sometimes it's like a jar with a lid, something opens. So when you get all your past trauma, which you've built up in your body, and then it just starts, so you need the help, you need the healing for them to get rid of all that stress and think, right, now I can breathe. I've took that one out of the suitcase, and right, thought, well, we're going to go on now, we're going to do a bit more, and eventually people get stronger. So I do believe that in our next timeline we will be better. We will be better, but we'll also remember things, because from our past life to this life, and then this life to another life, we remember, because spirit shows us, the universe does it for us. So yeah. That's an interesting question, actually.
I love it. So, you talked about soul language. Can you share with us a little bit about what that is? I know people have heard about light language. So, what is soul language?
Soul language is from my heart, from my soul. So I'll always remember meeting Alison, and she was doing a light and soul language, and I kept thinking, why do I actually know what she means? It was really bizarre. And then when I realized what it was my soul coming out of me, expressing who I am, what my soul is. So if you imagine your soul like a sun with spurts of energy, and then putting it into your earthly body, you've got all this excitement, you need to get it out. So with me, it just comes out through my throat. So I just speak another language, but I also channel as well. So light language is bringing the higher beings down, but my soul language is from my soul. And yeah, I can get quite emotional with that as well. So I do a lot of soul language.
I love that. So, how does that what is the process if someone was interested in like unlocking or remembering? Do they have to go to somebody? Like, what would they need to do? How would they explore?
I would go down into meditation and ask their guides to help them. But there are many people out there. I mean, I activate people's angel wings as well. I see people's angels wings. That's something new that's been for the last 6 months. I could be healing somebody and I'll be going, whoa, get your wings in. And they're massive, they're just huge. And the colors on their wings is just stunning. And then they bring them in. And then after that healing session, they said, Lorna, I feel I can fly. I went, no, please don't. You got stairs to go down. So the running joke is I've got no insurance. So I just laugh. But there are many, I've done quite a few activations with soul language. I can literally go down and just try and see if I can pull bits out for that soul then to escape. And I've done that with a few people, and all they want to do is cough, and I go, yeah, just cough. And then a few days later they will just come out with random words, that's mine. And it's sort of like, whoa, what does that mean? And now I actually know what it means. So to bring it out of you is one thing, to know is another. So it's the more you speak, the more you channel, the more you bring your guides in, the more, and your love. It's to me, soul language is all about love. It has to be. So yeah, I'm just this big one red heart that I do anything for anybody.
Oh, I love that so much, Lorna. So, since you mentioned it, I love that you're talking about like activating people's angel wings. So,
Mm.
do we each have many sets of wings?
So once you're set free, and this is something I found out, is this is Archie and Alfred. Once we can get rid of all this stuff that does not serve you, especially the heaviness on the chest. Sometimes it's like a little switch and it's like, whoa, and they'll come out and they'll go, wow, I needed that, and they can breathe. But sometimes their wings are literally like this. They are massive. Some are small. And then I always say to the client afterwards, I said, can I ask you something? Did you just feel like you wanted to go like this and stretch your arms out? She went, yeah. I said, because that's your wings. And yeah, I've done many healings, and like one person went, whoa, I could go down the stairs. I went, no, you're not.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's so amazing. And I love that you shared that because I have experienced that personally a couple of times, and I was like, what is happening? I'm feeling something in the middle of my back, like where the wings are attached. Uh,
Yeah.
So it's just really amazing that you shared that. So that's another beautiful discovery piece for everyone like tuning in. So I absolutely love that. And I know you talked a little bit about this because I'm personally interested. I want to learn a little bit more. And you talked about soul therapy with plants. So share with us a little bit about that. I'm very intrigued by that.
So I'm doing well, I will tell you how it stemmed from. So I'm doing a private one-to-one with a beautiful man. He's in Atlanta, Georgia. He's been really unwell. So Selena said to me, Lorna, tell his mother to go and buy a half-dead plant. And I'm like, what for? Do as you're told. I go, right, okay. I just do as I'm told. Just don't bother question it, just do it. So I did. She did that. He came back home and he went, Mum, why have you bought me a half-dead plant? Why have you bought me a fern? She went, I didn't. She took it out. She bought him a fern. And she was like, right, this is really weird. So I said to him one night, I said, okay, so I'm going to show you. This is the plant in question. He calls it my dandelion. So when he watches this, he's going to laugh. So what I do, I said to him, I said, right, so what's the first thing you're going to do with your half-dead plant? He went, water it. And I went, what else? And he's looking at it and I'm like, we're going to care for it, aren't we? And he went, yeah. I said, so what we're going to do, this is what I've been told, and we're just going to go with the flow, not arguing. He went, right, okay, Lorna. So basically what you do, hold on a minute. So you put your hands on the plant, and what you do, you bring yourself, I bring you down to root yourself to Mother Gaia. And with the palms of your hands, I always ask for that loving energy to come out the palms of your hands into the plant and to give that plant love and nutrients. And I can't really go all with it because I go with the flow. It's like meditation. I never write anything down. I just go with what I'm told to do. And then afterwards, we're going to ask that plant to heal us, to heal our heart if we feel stress. Oh, it's going to be funny. And to give us what we need. And it's to bring that beautiful blue and white energy down into the green energy. And you can just feel that energy getting rid of what your body does not serve you. And then afterwards, I will say to you, take your hands away from the plant, you bring it up, then you bring it back in, feel that energy of the plant, feel your energy. And then I always thank Mother Gaia, because this is Mother Gaia. This is something that she loves her plants because she is earth. And yeah, and it's called soul therapy. because Selena said, instead of us taking advantage of nature, why don't we have the circle of life? We give, we receive, we give, we receive. And that's how we should go with the circle of life. So that's how soul therapy comes into it. So I went to another client, I went to him not so long ago, and it's like a big spider plant. It was brown, it was crispy, and I went, Selena, this is not going to work. It will work, Lorna. And it was flat as a pancake. And I thought, right, just do it. We'll just do it. And then all of a sudden he opened his eyes and he went, oh my God, the plant literally went like that. The energy went like, it was just surreal. And then I could see bits of green that came on a brown plant. I've seen roots appear from the soil. It's extraordinary. I do private sessions with that as well. And everybody just loves it, because 4 to 6 weeks for healing, you can come every week, it's up to you. But this is something in between that you can do for yourself. You know, like healing a tree, we can put our hands on a tree, and we just give that tree that love, but ask that tree to bring us wisdom, like the owl. I'm very much earth at the moment. And I feel very solid when I do my meditations, my therapy. I'm just happy being me. I could talk for England.
I love that so much. Yeah, I feel very deeply connected to my plants. And I love that you mentioned about the tree, because I go to this tree in my neighborhood all the time, one tree, even though I know it's all connected. And that's literally what I do. It's like I put my hands on the tree and I ask if I can release things for it to be cleared. And then I pour love into it, but then also say, please share the wisdom and guidance, all of those things. So I love that confirmation of like what you're saying. It's so beautiful. And I love that you're starting to do that kind of work, because you're seeing it, you're experiencing it, and you can tell that it's working with your clients, which is so amazing. Um, I know that you're also someone who has a deep love for crystals, because I see you posting about them all the time. So I would love to learn a
I'm
little
in
bit
my
more about
room.
your about your journey with crystals, Lorna.
So this is apophyllite, because I'm in my room. So apophyllite is a very angelic crystal, but it's very healing as well. So if you imagine, energy is energy. So if I gave you a card, you picked it, you would probably feel the energy from that card, because it's from me. It's your energy, but using crystals. So what is all in these crystals? Because God made the earth, everybody has different opinions about that, and that's entirely, I accept everything, but for me it was made, and the earth has all these plants and herbs that could heal so much for us now, but crystals are just stunning. I look into them and they just talk to me and they go, right, okay. So especially now with crystals, I still use crystals on my healing as well as EDINA. So when somebody comes in, I will know which ones I will put out, and I'll go, right, pick that one, what do you feel? Pick this one, what do you feel? And then I try and balance them out. Because one crystals, just say, for instance, you came to me and apophyllite was your crystal for your healing session. But then the next time you would pick it up and go, no, it doesn't seem right. So it all depends on your balance, all depends on your energy, and it all depends on your heart, because you have to be balanced. Or any emotions play a big part in crystals. So for me, I would give somebody 100% rose quartz. If just to love themselves a little bit. Yeah, I just love crystals. And the trouble is with crystals, once you buy one, you keep buying them. So I can't keep up with Kaylee. Can't. She's got so many. And I'm like, and I've got so many. And then my other friends like, and I'm really good. I buy it for the business. And then like I turn around, they've just spent £180 on crystals. But then I'm just as bad. So yeah, crystals, I just look at them. And when you look at them, it's like they talk to you, they pull on your heart. It's like going into a different dimension, a different world. So through your energy, that plays a massive part in you. So yeah, I didn't think I'd ever buy crystals, but then again, I wouldn't believe I was a psychic medium and a healer and whatever. So
I love that. So when did this start? When did your connection with the crystals begin? Was it many years ago? Was it only a year or
um
two ago?
it's when I bought that pendulum thinking, oh, this is a crystal, it's quite shiny, what does that do? But then I got taught the old way is you bring it down, you say your name, would you want to work with me? Have respect for crystals, have respect. It breaks my heart if they break. I would never chuck them away. I would plant them in the earth and give that nutrients to the earth. And then I think it started from then, really, when I bought my first pendulum. And then there's an old saying, isn't it? A crystal will choose you. You won't choose a crystal. It could be the most ugliest crystal out there. And if it'll come, you're having it regardless. Because it's what you need at that time. And then you need that at that time. And then you'll need that. And then you just want to forget your money because it's gone. So then you end up with just love.
Now, the other thing that I've heard that I have been also kind of applying, because like you said, once you start buying crystals, I mean, it just keeps expanding. But one of the things that I have also been told, which I practice sometimes, is, it's hard. You can't always buy every crystal. There's so many, right? So sometimes if you feel you need a crystal and you might not be able to go buy it or whatever, you can connect and with the energy and bring in the energy of the crystal. Would you agree with that? Would you suggest that? Would you recommend it?
Yes and no. I just think that you have to really think, is that your heart talking or your gut talking? Because if we keep going in life by our heart, we're going to be broke. We're going to be in for so many things in our life. I always say, if you feel in your gut that is what you need, then you need it. I don't believe you can pick a crystal up, take the energy and walk and then not buy it. I think that if a crystal is you really need, then you will have to buy it. But then ask your guides not to take you to a crystal shop for a while. Put blockages in the way. Do not take me to another crystal shop. Be happy with the babies that you've got. I call them babies. And I also, with incense sticks, I always light an incense stick and I go, right, that's my babies. That's their food. Yeah. Yeah. And I wear loads in my bra all time.
I've
So
broken quite a few because of that, Lorna. Put them in
I
there, and then
know
I
I
was like,
have.
oh no. And then it falls on my floor. I'm like, no, it broke. But like you, I do the same thing where I did two things. One was I asked for permission. I said, can I put you back together? Is that okay? And I got a yes.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then the other one, I decided, like you said, I kind of planted the little pieces into my plants and kind of just put it back into earth kind of thing. So, because I know there's like so many things that people, they said, oh my goodness, if the crystal is broken, there was a reason, don't just get rid of it. I said, I think it depends. I think this is why you have to kind of connect and ask the questions yourself, like what's right for you. And so when I was mentioning about the crystals, it was more of connecting with them almost kind of like in the quantum way, not like in a going to a shop kind of way. It was just like, if I really want to call in the energy because that's what I need and I can't get to the store right now, like I'm just going to call it in.
Yeah,
So
you can do that. Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
So I was like, sometimes it's like, don't feel like you get stuck. Like, don't allow yourself to get stuck because there are many different ways to
Yeah,
connect with energies. And it's your intention, right? Making sure it's
yeah,
right for you. And then just connect because you needed that energy in that moment. And if you're
yes.
like, I really need more of this, then go physically buy it.
Go and buy one. Yeah,
So
100%.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh, so fun. Well, there's just so much stuff that you're up to, Lorna. I can feel your joy like when I come to your lives. And I know that you do a lot of things in person as well in your area. We know that
Yeah,
you're not in the US, you're in the UK, but all of Lorna's information will be in the bio section. So please check her out, see what she's up to. Obviously, she can do a lot of stuff online as well if you can't make the in person. But I know that the in person stuff is very fun too, because I've heard about those. And there's nothing like in person, right? I mean, that's just so amazing. But thankfully, with technology, we're able to do so many things now and connect and to help each other in many different ways. So I absolutely love that. And yeah, it's just been so much fun. Is there anything else that I might have missed, Lorna, that you really wanted to share or talk about?
I do lots of readings all the way around the world, and I do like Canada, Philadelphia. There's so many people in America that I do. And they all say afterwards, when Lorna, I felt like you were like right by me. And I go, yeah, I know I was. And my healings, yes, in person's amazing. But even being on FaceTime, that's all I need. Yeah, I just love what I do. I just love what I do. And I just thank my guides for believing and trusting in me as well. And there is something that we really do, instead of being in control of our lives, just why don't we put our faith in our guides and just go with the flow? And that's how I think a lot of people should live. And I think it'd be a lot easier as well for people, but everybody has different situations. But eventually people go with the flow and they think, right, well, that's not right, but hey ho, we'll put that. Come on then, bring something else in.
I
So
love it.
yeah,
I love it. I love that you said that, Lorna, because I was actually going to ask it. So you just helped to prompt that because, from everything that you've shared today, there is this really big element of you trusting, completely trusting in the information. And sometimes you're like, I don't even understand. What do you mean? But you're like, okay, that's what you're asking me to do. Like you just trust and you surrender to the process. For a lot of us, like I'm still in the process where I don't trust everything. Like, is there anything that you would say for like people like me who are maybe a little bit earlier in their journey in terms of being able to trust the guidance? What would you say?
okay. So I'll tell you a quick story, and this will actually answer that question. So one night, it was the night of the full moon, and because I'm in the UK, it was about, oh, I don't know, about 6:30, and it was getting quite dark then. Selena come in, she went, Lorna, I want you to get in your car and I want you to travel to this, it was a place called Malvern Hills, and I want you to get you to the top of the hill and just do it for me, please. I went, by the time I get there, Selena, it's going to be X, Y, and Z. Lorna, get in the car. I went, right, okay. Got in the car. No cars in there at all. It's quite dark. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to go up to Malvern Hills, one part of the hill. And it's massive. It just goes on. And I think, right. So I got my mobile phone. I'm going up. Couldn't even see the steps. I got up to the top. and I cried. I seen the most beautiful sunset in all my life, and I just knew that's what I needed for my soul and for my brain and for my body. And I literally sat there and cried, and I sat there and did my soul language, just crying for like 20 minutes. She went, right now, Lorna, that was your medicine. That's what you needed. Now you can go. And I went, oh my God. And I'm literally going side by side with my mobile because I couldn't see no steps because it was really dark then. And I got home, I parked the car up and I looked at the moon, and it was the full moon. And I went, oh my God, thank you so much, Selena. You know, so people have this myth of talking to the moon and to the full moon. I don't. I talk to it when you can't even see it, because to me that's Selena, that's my guide. And I'm like, I thought the other night, I thought, wow, I share you with a lot of people, Selena. And she went, yeah, I know. And it's sort of like, okay, thank you so much for being with me. You're welcome, Lorna. I went, okay, thank you. And
I
it's
love
just
that.
bizarre.
Yeah.
So if your guide turned around and said, right, I want you to go and do so, would you do it? That is where you trust. That's where the trust comes in. But your guide will only say that to you for a reason. It's because you're medicine. But you have to be in that stable part with your guides. Do you see what I mean? You have to be in that state and think, right, okay. And you have to have worked with your guides for a while and then go, right, okay. And when you fully let go of stop being in control of your life, then things start flowing in and you'll understand more. And the guides will start bringing in people to feed you, to give you more knowledge. So you then will be a lot stronger in yourself and you can go out and help more people. I don't know where that one's come from, but yeah. See what I mean with my guides?
I love that. But I think what's important too, like you said, Lorna, it's a process, right? So that must have been a process for you as well. It wasn't like, oh, right off the bat, you're like, yep, I just trust my guides. Like it's a little bit of a process, right? So,
It is. It takes a while, but I think when you get to a point and you think, why am I here? What is my purpose? Blah, blah, blah. And you can go down a whole list. And he said, there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason why I'm here living on this earth. There has to be. Okay. And your guide is saying, well, I told you, please put your trust in me and I'll help you. Go, right, okay, the day I did that, the day I started to learn who I am, what I was here for, and the reasons. And I'm so blessed to have met Kaylee. Kaylee is just and like Sheila, they are the most closest people ever in my life. So, and we are the soul tribe, we are the soul family, and people make up that tribe and that family. It's like my group. I created Moonlight Healing with Lorna for people to come in that safe space. And I love every single person in that group. And I think I've got about 640 people, but I just love the group and I miss them. So this is why I do random lives. I say to them, right, what do you want me to do today? It's your group. What do you want me to do? Plant therapy, healings, meditation. What would you like me to do? Bit of both. And I go, right, we'll do a bit of both. And then I'll end up, and then I might connect with somebody who's got a really bad heart, like mega pressure or having headaches. Then I'll see another reading and I'll go, right, does everybody want a healing? And I'll go, right, shut your eyes. And I'll do my soul language. And then afterwards they go, thank you, I needed that. It just takes 5 minutes to go out of your way to give that love back to people. And I love my group. So
oh, I love that so much, Lorna. Thank you for sharing. And I feel that you're so genuine and loving. Like, I know the times that I catch you on your lives, you know, that you can tell that your heart is always in a space where you're open to really share, and you want people to heal, and you want them to feel empowered and to really learn and understand their own power and their gifts. And I think that's one of the most important things, is about reminding people that we are all capable of so many different things, and to just trust and believe in ourselves. And I think that that's such an important message. And, you know, like you said, it's like really trusting. And I think that's such a big thing, because we've just been conditioned to always like look externally, like to not trust ourselves. So I love that you're reinforcing that message of, we have all these amazing guides and resources around us, and to just continue to build on that connection, because that's really what's going to bring us back to ourselves and empower us to just continue on our path and keep doing all the healing and the service that we're here to do. So I absolutely love that. So we're kind of coming to that place, Lorna, towards the end of our session. See how quickly that went, and you were like nervous. I'm like, look at that,
I
Lorna.
know.
It's like we're just chatting, we're just having fun. You're sharing about your life and your stories and your adventures. So we're coming to the place where I love, if you want to, like, you feel inspired to like share a message with the collective, whether that's a card,
Okay.
a message, anything you feel joyful to do would be amazing.
I think Selena needs to say something to you. And Jack and Lily, it's like an alpha. I go, right, okay. But I'll do it in my soul language, but I'll tell you afterwards. All right? Okay. Selena is sending a love to everybody. Sometimes we feel lost, but then we are found. We are here as the collective to give you love and reassurance. It is okay to cry. As healers, we are here to take that pain away and to make you feel whole again. There is a purpose for your life. Sending you all the love. And healing. You are one with the universe. Spend time to find who you are. Your sole purpose is to love and to rejoice. Jack and Lily send lots of loves and kisses. Mm.
That was so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I can feel like so much energy like running up my back and my head. I'm like, ooh, that feels really good. What beautiful messages. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Lorna, and your beautiful team and your guides for sharing that with us. We receive it. And I just want to thank you again so much for joining me today. For everybody listening, all of Lorna's information will be in the bio section. Please check her out. Check out all of her wonderful groups and everything that she's active in, including on Facebook. Again, all of that will be in the bio section. And again, thank you so much for joining, Lorna. I had so much fun learning more about your journey, your adventures, what you're up to, and what you're stepping into. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I love it. And thank you to everyone for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed this episode and received these beautiful messages in the end for our healing. And I can't wait to catch each of you on the next episode.